Hi, my name is Jeremy Schulman from Apstra, and today I'm going to show you a quick integration for our AOS extensible device agent with the Metamako Metaconnect 16 system. So here you can see I've got one of these systems online, and we can see its serial number and the model type. And what we've done is we've created a proxy device agent that connects to it, and then we can see that that is registered as part of the AOS system. So here's that serial number again. And we can see information that we store about the device, such as its serial number and the OS version and so forth. And now that we have this in place, I wanted to create a telemetry collector for the temperature sensors. So the sensor information that I want to get out, I can get out via JSON. So here I'm going to show you the code that I wrote in order to get this temperature information out, and then modify it so that I store it in AOS the way I want it. So we're calling this a temperature sensor. We're going to just call it, the service name is temperature. This is the command that we're running, show environment temperature verbose. And then once I get the data from the device, what I want to do is parse it and store only the parts that I care about in the way that I care about it. So the collected data, this collected dictionary, is what is retrieved from the device. And what I want to return from my parse handler is essentially looping through the sensors that we've gotten from the device and setting the sensor name and the sensor data to the way that we want it. So the sensor name, what we're doing is we're looking at the description of that sensor, and we're going to replace spaces with underscores, and we're going to convert it to lowercase, so everything's lowercased, because some of the descriptions have spaces in them. And then the data that we want to save, we only really care about two pieces of data. The current temperature as an integer, and then I also want to store whether or not the current temperature is lower than the alert threshold. So here, what we're really doing is we're taking the data from the device and we're applying what our business logic is. We want to know that it's okay, that is, the current temperature is less than the alert threshold, and then the temperature value. And that's all we're going to store back for that complete collection. Now, if I were to show you this data stored in AOS, which is what you should see here, you can see that I've got this key value store where each of the sensors has its name, and you can see that it's lowercase with spaces converted to underscores. And you can see that we've got the data that we're storing is OK, is true or false, and then the temperature value is the integer version of that. So you can see that we have all of the sensors here, and we can see how many times this is run. So we can see that I've run 29 times actually since it's been up and running. And now the next part of this is we're going to tell the collector that we also want to stream some of the data. So we have the stream handler. And so that's taking the collected data from that parsing function. And now what it's doing is it's iterating through each of those items and saying, I want to create a stream data item. And I want to call the stream data item a temperature. And I also want to identify the sensor by its name in this packet. And then I want to include both the current value and the OK value so that these values show up in my Grafana. So now I'm going to switch over to my Grafana, and you can see that here I've got a little dashboard that I created. And the metrics that you can see is the temperature, which is the name of the data packet, followed by the field name, current. And you can see that I have all of these temperature sensors showing up, and there's values for each of the temperatures showing up. So hopefully that was a good introduction and overview for this integration. Thank you.